I have a provocative question. I don't normally describe questions I raise as provocative, but this is, and it's meant to provoke, by the way, not to provoke anger. It's meant to provoke thought. And that is, what's better for a marriage? One in which one or both spouses announce, under no conditions will we get divorced. Will I divorce you? Or one where that is not said. As you will have inferred, I worry about any time people are rewarded, no matter how bad their behavior. That's why I am 100% opposed to unconditional love and unconditional anything. I don't understand unconditional anything. I don't. And I don't, it's not that I don't understand it. I should be more precise. I oppose it. Let's be really direct here. I don't believe in unconditional salaries. None of you do, I assume. Well, that's not true. There is a big movement for guaranteed basic income. You don't have to work. We'll pay you anyway. I guess a lot of people yearn for unconditional everything. No matter how I treat you, you won't divorce me. No matter how I act, God and man will still love me. Not my cup of tea. All right. Oh, I had a terrific call from somebody that I was going to take. Yeah, it was sad. Somebody said they've actually experienced that. Is line 1 working? Sean, do you want to check if line 1 is working? All right, let's see. All right, let's go to Don in Clarksville, Tennessee. Hello, Don of Clarksville.
Hi, Dennis. Thanks for taking my call.
Thank you for calling.
So I believe it would be more virtuous for the spouse to want to honor God, who hates divorce, and would rather, knowing that God only allowed for the hardness of one's heart for divorce to occur. And I don't believe that the motivation for my staying in that marriage as a result of knowing that would be one of either servile fear, that is, I better mind my P's and Q's, or she's going to out me, or one that trusts her that, wow, you mean to tell me she's actually going to forgive me for what I just did? That is amazing. And if you'd allow me 2 examples.
Sure, go ahead.
One is, you mentioned the other day you were talking about divorce, and you were talking about it being a person remaining in a marriage. You mentioned slavery, or you mentioned bondage. I would submit to you that the person who remains in prison because he doesn't want to reveal secrets of the United States of America is one for a higher goal or a higher value, willing to put himself under bondage for a greater good. You're always speaking about that
right.
We should
what is the greater good?
The greater good is that bond you've made before God, that you would not break that covenant. And the greater good could also be that you would want to remain there for the betterment of your children. I think that's actually a greater goal as well as your own self-serving interests.
All right. Listen, you're a good man. You're obviously a good man. I respect every word you said, and in some cases it works. I am involved very deeply in religious life, both Jewish and Christian. It's a very rare life in that way, in other ways. And I wish that deep religiosity guaranteed a good marriage. But almost everybody listening who is religious knows that that's not necessarily the case. Even people who share values may not get along. Values is like oxygen. You can't live without shared values. You can't live without oxygen. But oxygen is not enough. You need nitrogen. You need hydrogen. You need food. I mean, you need a lot of things to live. And a marriage needs a lot of things. Shared values is not enough. Shared values is essential, but not enough. This may simply be a theological difference. As I said, I am one of the greatest proponents living today of Judeo-Christian values. Look on the internet, I actually give example after example of what Judeo-Christian values are. I don't just use the term. I give example after example of what Judeo-Christian values are. Type in Dennis Prager, Judeo-Christian values. I devoted about 6 or 10 columns some years ago to defining it. Having said that, on rare occasion, there may be a difference. I'm not talking, obviously, there's a difference between Jewish and Christian theologically. There's a difference between Protestant and Catholic theologically. But values, Catholics and Protestants share. And so do Jews, Catholics, and Protestants. But this may be an example, the attitude toward divorce in the Old Testament and the New Testament. The line that God hates divorce, one line out of the prophets, can be certainly compared to God hates war. Right? There's no question God hates war. Sometimes war is necessary. I worry about spouses taking any spouse taking their spouse for granted. I don't like people taking anything for granted. Do you know why America is now in danger of being lost as America? I mean, serious danger. Existential danger. Because we took it for granted. That's why. People thought you can't lose America. You can't lose free speech. It was like just embedded into our souls. Anything you take for granted, you'll lose. And then all of a sudden, you might know what you had. Okay, let's see here. Anyway, it was an important call, that's why I started with it. And Anonymous in Northern California. The famous Anonymous of Northern California.
Hello, Dennis.
Hi. 1 minute. Stay with me.